So we have the awesome and world-known FXRT. This is a 1992 model. Moving on, we have the 1999 FXR3. And then, of course, this is going to be my favorite. We have the Dyna FXD Superglide. This is my personal motorcycle, so I'm a little bit biased. But today I just want to go over the differences between, or at least the main differences between the FXR chassis and the Dyna chassis, and just how that kind of affects handling and the reason why these bikes are so popular with everyone and are just so hard to come by right now. Okay, so the first bike I'm going to talk about is this awesome 1992 FXRT. You guys all know how rare these things are. You don't see them on the road very often. This thing's kitted out with all factory accessories, so it's super cool. And we're really lucky that it's owned by Nick in the parts team, so we get to see this bike every single day. The reason it's so rare is the actual paint job itself. There was literally only hundreds made. I've only ever seen 2 in this color myself, so it's really nice to have such a great example here that, quite frankly, God forbid anything happened to it, you wouldn't be able to replace. It's that rare. One of the main things I love about the FXRs, especially this RT, is it's a super small frame for the size of the bike, yet you've got all the capacity to actually go touring on it too. So you will see people rocking all across America on these things. You got tour packs, you got saddlebags, you of course have got the fare, and even back then, it actually has a sound system built in. So this thing's super capable for the year it was made. And it's just awesome that this bike has also transitioned into something like the FXR3 we have next to it. Same frame, very similar in most ways, but ultimately completely different at the same time, which again is just awesome. I think that's what's great about Harley-Davidson and the brand and the motorcycles it creates. Okay, so the next FXR I want to talk about is this 1999 FXR3. The really exciting thing about this FXR3 is, again, just how rare these are. I've never seen another blue one like this, and we're super lucky that this one is actually owned by Greg in our service team. What's super interesting about these 2 FXRs is Harley-Davidson actually stopped production in 1995, ended it completely, and then fired it back up for CVO models known as FXR2, 3, and 4, and this is an example of that. So today, the real reason I wanted to talk about these 2 motorcycles is there is always a huge debate, FXR versus FXD, Dyna. So having these great examples to talk about is a huge opportunity I want to take advantage of. With the FXR, first noticeable thing on this model is this triangle shape. That is how you're going to know it's an FXR. The reason they actually stopped making this style of frame is it was too expensive to manufacture. So in '95, they cut it. And that's when they went into the Dynas, like this one. This is an early model Dyna. So this one, of course, my personal favorite. It is my motorcycle, 2004 Dyna FXD Superglide. This model, I've really gone to town on, really added a lot of parts, honestly, to make this handle like an FXR. And I'll go over the different comparisons between the Dyna chassis and the FXR chassis with you now. So the main difference with the Dyna chassis compared to the FXR chassis I just showed you is, as you can see, there is no triangle here. Unfortunately, that removes a lot of rigidity in the frame. There also, you'll notice here, the swing arm is mounted into the back of the transmission with rubber. Again, unfortunately, this can have some negative effects on hard riding. So with the FXRs, this has the awesome Evo motor, 80-inch. In the Dynas, they moved it up to the twin cam. My bike's got a 95 kit in it. People love these motors. They've got the traditional Harley-Davidson sound. They do shake, they do vibrate, they make a lot of noise, and it's just so much torque. It's just great fun to ride. One of the reasons this chassis is so highly regarded in the handling department is how Eric Buell actually designed it. The main thing is this swing arm here is directly mounted to the frame. This is one of the things that was changed from the FXR into the Dyna chassis moving forward. So you'll see here on the FXR, this has a stabilizer mount from the front of the engine directly to the frame. This gives, again, great rigidity to this bike and awesome handling. So how we try and replicate this kind of feature that Eric Buell designed on the FXR on the Dyna frame, because from factory there is no stabilizer here. This engine rests in rubber mounts. So we can correct that design with a stabilizer that mounts here, which connects the engine directly to the frame and gives much better rigidity, stiffness, and ultimately handling. So by adding these extra stabilizers to the Dyna chassis, it really improves rigidity. Of course, it's never gonna be an FXR, but it's damn close. And the two reasons people buy these motorcycles is customization and riding hard and riding fast. You all have seen these on the West Coast. They're even going onto the East Coast. It's crazy. Everyone loves them. You can do so many things. So Greg's modified this bike a little differently than I have. I've raised mine, he's lowered his. He's also gone for the awesome chromed out Thunderheader exhaust. These give an amazing sound. The Evo engine is awesome. And of course it's chrome. But ultimately these two bikes are just super cool, super awesome handling. And while they do have huge differences in their frames and chassis, you can just have an absolute awesome time on these bikes. So I hope I've made it a little bit clearer, just the main differences between the FXR and the Dynas. If you do want me to go into more detail on each individual model, just let me know. These bikes are going to be here, so I really can just focus on one individual model and go through, you know, all the options and all the different modifications on each motorcycle. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys.